After the Eden-13 massacre, the galaxy went silent. No fleets moved, no messages were sent, no one dared speak the name, humanity. The Council hid the truth from the public, calling it a strategic loss. But those who survived the battle knew better. One Kravari admiral, his ship barely holding together, gave a private warning to his emperor. "You don't understand. They didn't fight with weapons. They fought with mind games. They let us shoot first. They made us think we were winning. Then they destroyed us without blinking." Back on HSV Retribution, Captain Reese stood in front of a screen showing hundreds of galactic news feeds. Panic, lies, confusion, exactly as planned. "They're fighting ghosts now," Reese said. "Let's give them more to fear." The AI spoke. "What phase shall we begin?" Reese answered, "Phase 6, Psychological Warfare." In Council cities, strange things began to happen. Civilian ships received old Earth music on their comms. Security cameras played human war footage from centuries ago. AI systems glitched and displayed a message. "We are watching." And worse, several military leaders simply disappeared overnight. No signs of a struggle, just gone. In their place, a small metal coin was left. Each coin had the human emblem, a skull surrounded by stars. One high-ranking Varelian general went mad. He screamed at the press, "They're not just warriors, they're monsters. They don't just destroy fleets, they destroy your mind." He was found hours later floating outside his ship. No damage, no blood, just fear frozen on his face. But here's the truth the galaxy didn't know. Humanity's real weapon was never just technology. It was how they think. Other species were logical, safe, predictable. Humans, they adapted. They improvised. They turned every weakness into a weapon. When food ran out, they ate poison. When ammo ran dry, they used rocks. When outnumbered, they smiled. They didn't fear death. They studied it in a secret research base. On the burned planet Helion-4, a council scientist studied old Earth history. He was searching for humanity's weakness. What he found chilled him to the bone. "They never stopped fighting," he whispered. "Even when they were losing, even when Earth was dying. They made backup plans. They hid warships in asteroid fields. They trained AI to wake up centuries later. They wrote instructions in forgotten code so their war could continue without them." He looked up from the data, trembling. They planned to win after they were dead. Now, across the stars, planets began to shut down their ports. Shields were raised. Armies were called home, but it didn't matter. Humanity was already inside, not in ships, not in fleets, in their systems, in their data, in their fear. And then, the worst message came, a short, simple broadcast, heard on every device in the galaxy. "The final protocol is ready. We warned you. You didn't listen. So now, you'll see what we really kept hidden." In every corner of the galaxy, fear became reality. The human broadcast echoed in thousands of languages. Final protocol activated. The message was short, but its meaning was clear. This was the end game. On the Council homeworld, sirens blared. Defense systems powered up. Leaders shouted in panic, "They're coming! Prepare all ships!" But no human fleets appeared. No weapons were seen. No ships entered orbit. Instead, the lights went out. Across every major system, power grids failed. Satellites shut down. Defense shields collapsed. A virus moved through their networks faster than light. Written in old Earth code. We were never gone. We were already inside. In the great capital city of Zalari Prime, buildings stood frozen. Thousands looked to the sky and saw it. A single human ship, not large, not armed, it simply hovered above the city. Silent. A symbol. Then, a beam of light shined from it, projecting. A message into the air for the whole planet to see. A hologram of Earth, burned, destroyed. Then, behind it, thousands of stars lighting up one by one, each marked awakened, human strongholds, human war fleets, human civilizations. The galaxy had thought Earth was all that remained. They were wrong. Earth was just the beginning. Back. Aboard the HSV Retribution, Captain Reese stood at the center of his command deck. His officers awaited the final order. "Do we strike, sir?" the weapons officer asked. Reese looked at the hologram of the galactic map. He saw every world, every empire, and every one of them was now silent. He shook his head. "No need," the AI asked. "Then, is the war over?" Reese paused, and then spoke. "We didn't come back to destroy the galaxy. We came back to remind it who we are." A final message was sent, not just to leaders, not to armies, but to everyone, on screens, walls, and even the sky. We are not monsters. We are not ghosts. We are survivors. You tried to erase us. Now you live in a galaxy we built. We don't want war, but we will never forget, and we will never be forgotten again. This is humanity's galaxy now. In the days that followed, no retaliation came. No ships moved against the humans. No more lies were spoken. The galaxy understood the final protocol was not destruction. It was memory. It was the return of truth, and truth was more powerful than any weapon. Final scene. On a quiet planet far from war, a young alien child looked up at the stars. He asked his teacher, "Are humans still out there?" The teacher nodded slowly. "Yes. Watching, waiting, protecting." The child paused. "Are they heroes or villains?" The teacher looked to the sky with a small smile. "Neither," he said. "They are human." For 500 years there was silence from Earth. Not a single signal, not a whisper in the dark. The planet once called the heart of human civilization had vanished from the galaxy. Most believed humans were gone, extinct after their final war. The Galactic Council removed Earth from official maps, and textbooks labeled humanity as a lost species, a warning of what happens when power is used without control. Alien children learned in school humans were strong, but their anger was stronger. Over time, no one spoke of them. No one looked for them. Space moved on. But the silence was not natural. Far out near the Zentaur system, a lonely place on the edge of explored space, a cargo ship named Veltron Echo was finishing a supply run. Captain Drino, a Sarnak alien with gray skin and deep blue eyes, was bored. The space routes were quiet. Nothing ever happened in this sector. As he leaned back in his chair, drinking his bitter root tea, an alert flashed across his console. A sudden energy spike, unstable, unknown, no wormhole activity, no gravity shift, just darkness. His crew looked confused. "Maybe it's a glitch," said the navigator. Then the lights flickered. Outside the window, space twisted. A ripple, like water in the fabric of the stars. Something massive moved, but no ship was detected. No signature, no heat, just a dark shape. For a moment, it blocked out the stars. Drino stared, heart pounding. "What is that?" Suddenly, the sensors exploded with data, impossible readings. The computers failed to process it. Static filled the ship. And then, silence again. Whatever it was, it vanished. Drino managed to log a short message before the ship's system crashed. They looked human, but their ships were like nothing we've seen before. The Veltron Echo never arrived at its destination. A recovery team found the wreckage 2 days later. No crew, no signs of a fight, no distress signal. Only the black box survived, half damaged, playing back the final visual. a shadow in the void. Long, silent, powerful, a shape moving without light. The council called it an anomaly. Nothing to worry about, they told the media. But behind closed doors, they were scared. They sent a quiet message to their best investigator, Captain Tirox of the Valari Guard. Tirox was old. He had studied humans when he was young. He knew the old stories, their wars, their rise, their sudden fall. He had always believed they were too clever to die off so easily. When he saw the black box footage, he froze. His first thought was simple. They're back. He visited the Galactic Archive and opened ancient files, files most had forgotten. There he found something strange. Just before Earth went silent, a secret signal was sent from Mars. It wasn't a call for help. It was a message hidden in static. No one had decoded it. Tirox used an old translator from the human era. The message said, "We are not dead. We are watching. We will return when the stars forget us." That message was 497 years old. At the same time, across the galaxy, other strange things were happening. Ships going missing near old human space. Unknown probes drifting near Council worlds. Hidden. Signals bouncing off deep space satellites. The pattern was clear to Tirox, but the Council refused to listen. "Humans are extinct," they repeated. "They can't return." But deep in his gut, Tirox knew something had survived. And it had waited a long time. Then came the second incident. A civilian station in the Mycara belt spotted something. Large, stationary, in deep space. No engines, no movement. Just there, like a ghost. The station tried to send drones, but the moment they got close, they vanished. Not destroyed, just gone. Like space itself swallowed them. The next day, the station received a short audio message. A voice. Human. Cold. Calm. One sentence. Humanity remembers. The Council went into lockdown. Military fleets were told to prepare for unknown threats. Whispers spread like fire. Could it be true? Could humans have survived? If yes, what had they become? Tirox returned to his ship and looked out into space. He remembered an old Earth saying, one the humans used in their final days, "In silence, we grow." He now understood what it meant. They hadn't died. They had disappeared on purpose, and now they were coming back. As Tirox stared into the void, a new alert pinged on his console. A ship had just appeared near the broken ruins of the old Titan station, a place abandoned centuries ago. No engine trail, no origin, just a single signal, a human signal. And it was headed straight for the center of the galaxy. For the first time in centuries, the galaxy felt fear. The strange ship that appeared near the ruins of Titan Station did not attack. It did not speak. It simply watched for hours before, vanishing into deep space like a ghost. But it left something behind. A single probe. It was old, shaped like human tech, but far beyond anything the Council had ever seen. When engineers touched it, it activated and sent out a low pulse. On all frequencies. Across thousands of systems, a message in English. "We are not your enemy, but we remember everything." The Galactic Council called an emergency meeting. The High Speaker of the Threx Empire was furious. "Extinct species don't send messages," he growled. Others were nervous. Some were excited. The archivists whispered about an old project called Exodus. According to hidden records, Earth had launched one final mission before vanishing. A group of ships, no one knew how many, sent into deep space, carrying survivors, scientists, children, and dangerous secrets. That mission was never confirmed. The data was erased, but Captain Tirox remembered it. He found old logs in a forgotten vault. Exodus was real, And now, those survivors had returned. Meanwhile, in the dark edges of space, 3 alien scout ships followed the strange energy signals left behind by the mysterious human vessel. They traced the readings to a sector known as the Hollow Drift, dead zone where space seems frozen. As they entered, their instruments failed. Navigation went blind. Gravity shifted. Then, they saw it. A shape, gigantic, silent. It looked like a city, floating between stars, not built of metal, but of light and shadow. Smooth, glowing, alive. No ship that size should be able to move. One pilot whispered, "It's impossible." They scanned it. That was their mistake. In the very moment their scanners touched the structure, their ships froze. Not just engines, but time itself seemed to stop. Their voices turned to echoes. One by one, the ships disappeared. Without sound, without explosion. Only one fragment of data was sent back. A few seconds of visual feed. Inside the human structure were moving figures. Not machines, not robots. People, but not the humans of old. These were taller, stronger. Their eyes glowed faint blue. They moved with calm precision. And behind them, strange shapes floated, machines made of pure energy. They had evolved. Back on the Council homeworld, Tyrox reviewed the fragment and whispered to himself, "They didn't just survive. They changed." Council leaders refused to believe it. They claimed it was a trick, maybe a lost colony using fake human tech. They began preparations to destroy any ships matching the new human signatures. But it was already too late. Dozens of human scout vessels had now been seen in multiple systems. They never attacked. They never responded. They simply entered, scanned, and vanished. A silent armada, moving in the dark. In one of the outer colonies, a small alien patrol ship got too close to a human scout. They fired a warning shot. The human ship did nothing. They fired a second time, this time a direct hit. Still, nothing. Then the human ship responded, not with weapons, but with a single, light pulse. In an instant, the alien ship's weapons systems melted. Their engines died. Their memories blurred. One crew member began screaming, "They're inside my mind!" The patrol ship was found drifting 3 days later. Only one message was written on its hull in glowing English. This was a warning. The truth had broken the galaxy open. Billions of citizens across hundreds of worlds watched the recordings from Earth's final hours. They saw the betrayal, the secret deal, the Council's lies, and most important, they saw the return of humanity. Not as victims, but as something new. On the Council world of Zevrak, protests turned violent. Crowds shouted one name, "Earth, Earth, Earth!" Old statues were pulled down. Government buildings burned. Even alien children were seen drawing the symbol of a human handprint, the same one the Ghost Walkers had left behind. Inside the Exodus Armada, Commander Helena Voss stood before her captains. "The time has come," she said, "not to conquer, but to let the galaxy decide." She activated a wideband message, broadcast across all frequencies. "This is Commander Helena Voss of the Human Exodus Fleet. You know the truth now. You know who erased us. We do not come for revenge. We come to rebuild. If you stand with us, say it. If not, stay silent." Then they waited. Responses came fast. The Shalar Hive, long-time Council allies, turned. "We were lied to," their queen said. "We will not fight the children of Earth. The Varnak Traders Union opened their gates to human ships. We profit from truth, not from old lies." Even some Council soldiers, aliens trained to hate humans, threw down their weapons. One of them, a Threxian commander, sent this. "They told us humans were gone, but I just saw one save my unit from a Drexari ambush. If these are the enemies, what does that make us? But not everyone chose peace. The Drexari Empire, now humiliated, declared open war. Their High Lord broadcast, "They infect the weak with fear. We will burn this false humanity from the stars." And in the shadows, a new weapon was being prepared, something ancient, something even the humans didn't expect. Meanwhile, on the edges of known space, a secret meeting was taking place. Helena. Voss had come in person, not with guns, not with threats, but with an offer to the Independent Systems Alliance, a group of powerful neutral planets. She placed a small device on the table. It projected a map of a new galaxy, a future built together, not ruled, not conquered, but shared. Helena spoke softly. "We waited 500 years in silence. We don't want war, but if it comes again, we won't run this time." One of the alien leaders looked at her and asked, "And if we choose the council?" Helena didn't blink. "Then you choose to follow ghosts. And ghosts don't lead anywhere." End of Part 6. Hook. Across the stars, ships were changing sides. New flags were rising. The council was breaking apart. The old order dying. And somewhere, in the heart of the Drexari Empire, an ancient vault opened. Inside, something not even humans remembered building, because the war that wiped out Earth may not have started with the council. It may have started with something older, and now it was waking up. The galaxy was burning, not because of humanity, not because of war, but because something older had awakened. The Drexari thought they had discovered a weapon buried deep under their oldest world. They were wrong. They had uncovered the true enemy, a force that once tried to wipe out everything, even before humans reached the stars. It had a name once, long forgotten. Now it was simply called the Silence. Flashback, lost logs from Earth's deep archives, an ancient human AI, hidden for centuries, finally unlocked itself. Its voice was cold, broken, tired, Project Nullspace activated. This is the final warning. The Silence is not a weapon. It is a hunger. We sealed it at the cost of Earth. This was the real reason Earth had died. Not just betrayal, but sacrifice. Back to present. The Silence spread like a shadow. Not fire, not bombs, but systems crashing, memory loss, planets going dark, entire species simply vanishing. The Drexari screamed for help. None came, except one, the humans. Inside the Exodus Armada, Commander Helena Voss stood before a united fleet. Human warships, alien allies, even council defectors, ships once built to destroy each other now, flew side by side. She looked at the stars and said, "We were feared, we were hated, but today we are the shield." The final battle begins. The edge of reality. The fleet reached the source, an ancient black rift pulsing at the edge of space. The silence was pouring out. Ships vanished on contact. Minds broke under its presence. Then Helena gave the order. Activate the memory core. Deep inside her flagship, a glowing orb pulsed, the last memory of Earth. Not just data, the emotional echo of billions of lives. Love, pain, music, laughter, loss. It was human consciousness, weaponized into light, and when the silence touched it, it stopped. For the first time, a voice from the rift no one expected it to speak. But through every screen, every comm, a cold voice said, "Why do you resist?" Helena answered, "Because we remember. One last push. The United Fleet charged forward. Humans at the front, aliens beside them. Weapons flared. Hulls cracked, but they held the line, and then the memory core exploded, sending waves of pure human experience into the rift. The silence screamed and vanished. Aftermath, the stars were quiet, but not empty. The Exodus Armada returned, not as invaders, but As founders of the new accord, a new council was formed. No lies. No hidden powers. Earth was named the heart of the new alliance. Even though the old planet still lay in ruins, the people had returned, and from orbit, Earth glowed again. Final words, voiceover close. They thought humans were gone. But we were only silent. They thought they erased us. But memory never dies. We came from the void, but we do not belong to it. We are human, and we always come back.